I thought I'd do a video about this trellis that I had built quite a few years ago. I think about, I'm guessing maybe 15 years ago. So it's made out of hemlock and 2-inch hemlock. I guess all of it is. I initially did coat it with an outside coating, but it really doesn't show that it's really very coated anymore. But hemlock is real good at taking the weather. Now, the one thing very important though, you need to have the legs up in the air. They can't be in the ground. In fact, I had to clean this one off yesterday because there was too many leaves around it, and that just holds the moisture and is going to cause it to rot. The other three have been staying really good. All four legs are real good, but this one was showing that it could start rotting, or maybe even did start to go in that direction. Now, initially we did plant some grapes here, but we don't get a lot of sunlight because we have these very big, or quite large oak here. So what I did uniquely, I thought was unique about this project, was I did it after the gazebo. So, and at that point I had started doing this concept. So you can build all these pieces, you can have these diamonds, and then you can start connecting things. And you can even have these diamonds screwed into one piece, so that when you put it together, you bring it out and start putting it all together, you would only have to screw in 2 screws. So these pieces I had like, for example, these 2 pieces here, and these 2, and back there you have 2 more, and then 1 on the side here. All those I had pre-made, pre-coated everything, so that when I brought everything out, I could start putting it together right away. The top pieces I had made, and then I made little triangles to hold them in place. So again, the triangle could be fastened to this top piece, so that when you set it down, all you have to do is screw the 2 sides and then it's all in place. Now, this thing is not square in a sense. What I mean by that is, okay, these 2 legs are in line, but then if you go over here, the distance in front is wider. So you're at an angle here. So that was a little tricky in doing, but not too bad really, because you just slant this one, you slant that one. So everything on this side is slanted, which makes those little triangles, you can see how they stick out a little bit on the sides. Putting them in was a little tricky. I probably put them in at the time I was putting it on. But this side are all uniform, so that was pretty easy to do. And then I decided to go with this matrix in the middle. And again, the matrix is all held together in the middle by this sort of thing. So I'm not toe screwing in here. I'm using my diamonds to hold everything in place. Same way with here. So you get this. Now here I did go straight in because a lot of support is coming from this piece. But then diamonds up there. And I'm not saying you get a lot of support from these 2. I mean, you get pretty much as much. So it gives you that, it gives you a little bit more flair having the diamonds in there. And the top pieces, a little bit more flair there, holding everything up straight. Now this is held up really good. I have thought about coating it again, but maybe I will spray it. I don't know. I did have grapevines on it, and there are some grapevines, but they never really produce. And now we have these wild grapevines, which really don't produce either. So I could, supposedly I could just tear them all down, let them start over. Because if I coat them, I'll be spraying the plant too. So I don't know, it's held up. You can see these hay barns that last 100 years with hemlock on the outside. So I think as long as I keep the moisture off it, it does continue to hold up. It's very soft. I mean, some of these things wiggle, but they're not. They were never meant to. They're not meant to be a ladder or anything. Only for climbing vines. So this is my version of a trellis, and I think it turned out really nice. It's pretty authentic now that it's weathered and everything. So start your trellis, and this will give you some ideas.